Thinking you can stare down or outrun the apex predators of the African savanna is a delusion. That will cost you everything when instinct overrides biomechanical reality in the wild. The result is irreversible tissue destruction and complete cardiovascular collapse before help even knows you are gone. Today, we are breaking down 10 severe medical emergencies waiting for you in the tall grass, including a famous survival myth at number 10 that guarantees a terminal outcome. Let's begin. Number 1. Backing away slowly and breaking eye contact when confronted by an African lion is the first critical error most people make. Biomechanically, a lion is a 400-pound ambush predator equipped with muscular density designed exclusively for explosive acceleration and bringing down massive prey. If you turn your back or drop your gaze, you trigger their predatory pursuit response, and their attack will specifically target your cervical spine and trachea, resulting in immediate structural failure and asphyxiation. The elite protocol is to exploit their natural risk aversion. You must maintain intense, broken eye contact while artificially expanding your physical silhouette by opening your jacket or raising your arms. Project Low, authoritative. Aggressive vocalizations to convince the lion that engaging you carries a high probability of bodily trauma to themselves, forcing them to reevaluate you as a threat rather than a resource. Number 2. Treating the spotted hyena like a cowardly scavenger that you can simply wave away will rapidly escalate into a severe medical emergency. Hyenas possess one of the most formidable bite forces on the continent, biologically engineered with massive sagittal crest and jaw muscles to shatter thick bones. Like the femurs of large herbivores, they do not hunt alone. They use advanced pack dynamics to outflank and overwhelm, targeting the lower extremities to bring you down. If you attempt to run, you will be hamstringed, leading to immediate mobility loss and catastrophic bodily trauma. You must aggressively protect your flanks and rear by backing up against a solid structure like a tree or vehicle. Arm yourself with a heavy, improvised weapon. Do not retreat, and focus all your defensive aggression directly on the largest female, the matriarch. To break the pack's operational coordination. Number 3. Believing that the Cape buffalo is just a large, peaceful cow grazing in the brush is a fundamental misunderstanding of savanna physics. The Cape buffalo is notoriously territorial and vindictive, possessing a thick, armor-like boss of bone across its skull and an incredible capacity to absorb damage. If a buffalo perceives you as a threat, it will not simply warn you. It will execute a highly coordinated ambush, charging at 35 miles per hour to deliver massive blunt force trauma that instantly ruptures internal organs and shatters the skeletal frame. The only viable solution is complete vertical evasion. You cannot outrun them on flat ground, so you must immediately identify and climb a sturdy tree, breaking their line of sight and removing yourself from the kinetic path of their charge. You might survive the buffalo's charge if you get high enough, but wait until you see the fatal trap waiting at number 10 that people actively choose to do. Number 4. Positioning yourself anywhere between a grazing hippopotamus and its water source is a navigational error that routinely results in terminal outcomes. Despite their rotund appearance, a hippopotamus is a highly territorial, volatile powerhouse capable of outrunning a human on land. Their jaw hinge opens a full 180 degrees, exposing canine tusks that can easily puncture the hull of a small boat or human torso in a single bite. The resulting crush injury causes immediate and irreversible tissue destruction and skeletal collapse. If a hippo charges, your elite protocol is immediate, sharp lateral movement. You must run at a perpendicular angle to their path, completely clearing their direct road to the water. Abandon any gear that slows you down and seek immediate elevation or substantial structural cover, as they are single-minded in their trajectory toward the water. Number 5. Wading into the shallow, murky edges of a river assuming you are safe because you cannot see a Nile crocodile is a catastrophic lapse in situational awareness. Crocodiles are apex ambush predators, biologically perfected over millions of years to remain completely submerged with only their sensory receptors above the waterline. When they strike, their jaws lock with immense pressure, and they execute a biomechanical maneuver known as the death roll, designed to cause rapid structural failure and sever limbs through extreme torsional force. Your primary protocol is strict distance management. Always remain at least 15 feet from the water's edge. If the worst happens and you are gripped, striking the armored snout is useless. You must ruthlessly target their optical sensors by gouging the eyes, or strike the palatal valve at the back of their throat to flood their airway, and force a physical release. Escaping a crocodile requires immense biomechanical understanding, the myth we expose at. Number 10 requires you to unlearn everything you have been taught. Number 6. Attempting to outrun or strike a black mamba in the tall grass is a reaction that accelerates your own demise. The black mamba is exceptionally fast, highly nervous, and possesses a neurotoxic payload that ranks among the most potent in the natural world. If you startle it and react with fast, aggressive movements, the snake will interpret this as a strike and deliver multiple rapid bites. The venom immediately attacks the central nervous system, causing rapid paralysis, respiratory failure, and complete cardiovascular collapse within a very short operational window. The elite survival response is absolute physical zero. You must freeze completely the moment you identify the threat. Allow the snake to process that you are a stationary, non-threatening object. Once it lowers its head and begins to move along its intended path, you execute a painfully slow, smooth retreat backward, avoiding any sudden shifts in your physical silhouette. Number 7. Walking beneath the dense canopies of the savanna at dusk without maintaining vertical situational awareness is how you fall prey to the African leopard. Leopards are the ultimate stealth practitioners of this environment, utilizing the shadows and thick branches to mask their thermal and visual signature. They are biologically wired to drop from above, using their specialized canine teeth to precisely pierce the skull or sever the cervical vertebrae, ensuring an instant terminal outcome. Without a struggle, to neutralize this threat, you must constantly scan the wide joints of large trees and avoid walking directly underneath heavy, overhanging foliage during low light conditions. If you spot a leopard tracking you, you must face it directly, shout with deep, resonant authority, and slowly back away without ever turning your shoulders. Number 8. Believing you can climb a small boulder to outlast a pack of African wild dogs is a critical miscalculation of their physiological endurance. These predators boast an 80% success rate not because of overwhelming size, but due to their incredible stamina and organized pack tactics. They do not rely on a single, crushing bite to the neck. They systematically exhaust their target through continuous pursuit, inflicting rapid, shallow trauma that leads to severe physiological shock and complete cardiovascular collapse. You cannot outrun them, and you cannot outlast them. Your only protocol is to immediately secure your back against a sheer, unscalable wall or dense, impenetrable thorn bush, forcing them to face you from a single frontal vector. Deploying strong chemical deterrents or utilizing fire is the only way to break their offensive coordination. Protecting your flanks from a pack is basic geometry, but the cognitive trap waiting at number 10 will have you actively participating in your own terminal outcome. Number 9. Seeking cover behind a thin bush or small tree when a black rhinoceros locks onto your position is a fatal underestimation of kinetic energy. Rhinos possess remarkably poor visual acuity, relying heavily on auditory and olfactory sensors. When they receive a threat, they do not investigate. They launch a 2-ton armored mass directly at the source. The keratin horn is driven by immense neck muscles, designed to cause catastrophic puncture wounds and total structural collapse upon impact. A bush will not stop that momentum. You must wait until the rhino is within 20 yards and committed to its trajectory. Then execute a hard lateral dodge. Simultaneously, you must seek massive, immovable structural cover, such as a dense termite mound or a large boulder, using the terrain itself to absorb the kinetic impact of the charge. Number 10. The ultimate myth of the savanna and a guaranteed terminal outcome is attempting to assert dominance over a chacma baboon by baring your teeth, smiling, or mimicking their aggressive displays. Humans are culturally conditioned to view a smile as a sign of peace, but in the biomechanical reality of a baboon troop, exposing your teeth is a direct, unequivocal biological declaration of war. Baboons are heavily muscled, highly aggressive, and possess canine teeth equivalent in length to a leopard's. If you challenge the alpha through eye contact and a smile, the entire troop will coordinate a relentless assault. The resulting trauma consists of overwhelming, deep lacerations causing massive fluid depletion, and a severe medical emergency that cannot be stabilized in the field. The true elite protocol is immediate de-escalation. Avert your eyes, keep your mouth strictly closed, drop your shoulders to reduce your threat profile, and slowly yield the path without turning your back. Surviving the savanna is a strict calculation of biomechanics over flawed human instinct. Your survival depends entirely on understanding their anatomical advantages and neutralizing them before a severe medical emergency occurs. Stay sharp, respect the predators, and I will see you in the next deep dive.